Hello and welcome to this very special episode of Hanna and Eastwood Get Real. Now you may notice that this week Harry isn't here, and Harry has told me that he was hit with unforeseen circumstances, meaning that he is unable to join us this week. But hopefully, God willing, he will be with us again for next week's episode. And we have decided that it would be best to push back the top 10 80s songs to next week, because we felt you wouldn't want to watch me debate with myself for half an hour which songs should be in the top 10. So after reading a news report on BBC News this week, I felt I should talk about COVID-19 and mental health. Now, I know we talked a lot about mental health in one particular episode in Series 1. But as times have changed since Series 1, a lot of restrictions have been lifted, new rules have been put into place. I've noticed that coronavirus may be a physical illness, but it's hit mental health really hard. Especially those who are of an older generation or who are living on their own. And I think lockdown for everyone hasn't been easy. I don't want to give the impression that I'm saying anyone else who has had mental issues during lockdown, we shouldn't take them seriously. This episode is us saying we're here to take you seriously. And in this report on BBC News, it shared 4 stories of people during lockdown. So what I will do is I will share my story, and then I will share some advice with you. Now, we went into lockdown on the 23rd of March this year, and it was a very strange situation for everyone. Harry had been told not to go to work. Myself looking for work, I found myself in a very tough situation where I wasn't able to look for work anymore because nobody was taking on. And I thought, right, this is the perfect opportunity to hone my music skills and perfect the piano. Now, obviously, both Harry and I are the musical comedy act Clockwork Piano. I sing and play. He plays and sings a little bit. So I saw this as the perfect opportunity to raise some money for the NHS, raise some money for the food bank in Plymouth, which is where I live. So I did some shows. I did a show every week up until the middle of May, and then it just ended. It ended at a time where BLM hit its peak, and then this started. And everything was going really well. I felt I had heard stories of people not coping with lockdown very well, and some people who were handling lockdown extremely well, and I felt I was in the category of handling the lockdown situation extremely well. Now, at the end of the first series, Harry and I decided we need a break. Summer holidays are here. we're both going to be extremely busy, so we're not going to have a lot of time to record episodes. Harry was working quite a lot. I was with family for the majority of the time, and so we decided to record separate clips, keep everyone updated on what we were doing. Problem is, I found myself feeling very, very low and in not a very nice place. Not a very nice place at all. So much so that I considered what to do with myself. And that went on for about a month, 3 or 4 weeks. Just constant thoughts, planning, wondering what it would take. Until one night I got extremely drunk. Always a terrible idea when you're in that frame of mind. And I decided to give Harry a ring. And obviously, when you're drunk, you can't control your thoughts. You can't control what comes out of your mouth. And I just told him what I've been going on, how lonely I've been, and all of a sudden, I realised for those 3 or 4 weeks, it felt like I was carrying 6 or 7 10-ton bricks on my back, and speaking to someone, speaking to Harry, actually took the weight off of me and made it easier to walk. Now since then I've been able to get the help and the support that I needed, and I feel I'm getting back to being the Sam Hanna that everybody knows and loves. And we have lots of great stuff planned for the podcast. We have lots of great stuff planned over at Sam Hanna, because I've given myself a facelift over on Facebook. But I want to reiterate massively, because this episode is only a short one, because it's very hard hitting. It's very hard for me to talk about it. It's so very raw. I want to reiterate the importance of talking to someone, talking to people, talking to friends, talking to family, GPs, acquaintances, because the one person you speak to, they don't necessarily know how you're feeling without you telling them. And you telling them will make them notice you and care for you and approach you in a completely different light. And then you can get the proper help that you need to be on the road to recovery. Now, what I will do is in the link in the description below, I will share all the BBC news report that I read, and the name of some organisations, or people that you can talk to. Andy's Man Club, the Samaritans. Because we shouldn't suffer alone, we shouldn't suffer in silence. Mental health and suicides have gone up since, during or since lockdown. And that's a figure that nobody should have to deal with. Nobody should suffer alone. Nobody should suffer in silence. Speak to someone. Get the support that you need, because it could save a life. And if you're watching this and you aren't in that situation where you haven't been feeling mentally ill during lockdown, during or since lockdown should that be, I urge you to just pick up your phone, just send a message to the one friend who you don't talk to very often, to the one friend who nags you all the time, to your mum, to your dad, to your sisters, to your brothers who absolute pain in the ass. Just send them a message. Let them know that you are there if you ever need to talk. Let them know that you are there and that you love them. Because telling someone that you love them means the absolute world to someone if they aren't in the right headspace. It gives them meaning. It gives them a reason to live. Thank you for joining me for this special episode of Hanna and Eastwood Get Real. We will be back midweek with This Week in 15 minutes, and we will be back next week with another episode where where Harry will hopefully be back, and we will be choosing our top 10 80s songs. Get help. Don't be afraid to speak to someone.